The very foundation of all music stems from two foundational principles. Period. The foundation of music stems from two foundational principles. And those two foundational principles are semitones and tones. This is the foundation of all music, semitones and tones. No music scholar will ever tell you anything different. Music is made up of semitones, and that a semitone is simply a distance of one key on the piano, of one key or one note. Now a tone is just a distance of, guess what? Two. It's just a distance of two keys or two half notes, what they call, not half notes, I don't like to use that term, all right? Or they'll call a distance of a whole step or a half step. So a semitone, say this with me, semitone is a distance of one key, a tone is a distance of two keys. So for example, if we go to C, it's easy to see this because you can see white keys and black keys. The distance between this note, which is C, and this one, which is B, there's no black key in between it. So that is known as a distance of a semitone, okay? Now the distance between this note and this note is not a semitone, even though it's right beside each other, because there is a black key that is there, black key that's separating. So the distance is distance of not only one key, between this would be a semitone, but the distance between this and this is a tone, distance of two keys. So the building block is a semitone or a tone from this to that. All right, so music is just semitone and tone. But as you can see, you see a 1 and a 2. If you put these two together, you get what number? You get 12. You still get the order of God. That's why Jesus had 12 disciples, because he was doing something musical. And guess what? Jesus made the 13th, by the way, which we know is supposed to be the bad luck number. Anyways, so we have the 12 here. All right, I hope you're following me. Okay, good. So you have a semitone and tone. Now, that is also known in music as a half step, or it's also known as a whole step. All right, the distance of one is a half step, or it's also known as a whole step because it has a distance of two keys. So these things are synonymous. So how we get the major scale was easy. God said, here, I'm going to make it simple for you through the Christ key, why it's the easiest, the key of C. So therefore, we can figure out what it is. So instead of major scale here, I'm going to put the formula of the major scale so that we can see the formula. All right? So the major scale formula, we start from the C at the beginning. So therefore, we have to go from here to there, which is white. As you can see, there's a black key in between it. Therefore, would it be a semitone? Would it be a tone? Exactly. It's going to be a tone. So we have a tone first. So we have a tone to here. Now to get from here to there, we can see there's a black key we got to hit. 1, 2. Is it a semitone or tone? Exactly. It's a tone. All right. You're moving with me. Now we're here. We're at E, actually. To get from E to F, is there a black key in between it? No. So that's another reason. There's only 5 black keys, not the 7 that, or the, anyways, that's another thing is a pet peeve of mine what they teach, that calling something a black key when it's not really a black key. Anyways, all right, so from here to there, it's a semitone, all right? And now if we want to go from F to G, is there a black key in between it? Yes, there is. So it's a distance of 2 keys, which is a tone, okay? Right, from G to A, from G to A. Yes, it is. So we have another tone, all right? Now we can go from A to B. As you can see, there's a black key there, so that is also a tone. So therefore, we can put a tone there as well. And now, now to complete the scale, because we have so far, those are the 7 different notes, C, D, E, F, G, A, B. However, to end the scale, we also add the first note, which is also the last. All right, and that gives us our last between B and C. It's a semitone. So the formula for a major scale, which if you do a Google search, everybody's saying, hey, here's the formula. Yeah, everybody's saying, here's the formula, because God has given us the revelation to see that. However, what they are not saying is that the formula is Him. The formula is Him. He is the formula for music. How can I say that? Well, it's tone, tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone. The foundation of music is a semitone and a tone, one key and a two. Now, when we read in the book of Revelation where it talks, and John said he saw one that was sitting on the throne. One represents the only God, that there's only one sitting on the throne. However, because God, the Bible talks about God dwells in unapproachable light. We can't approach this light. So what he has to do, he has to cast images so that we can see. He casts two images of himself, two images of the one. So the foundation of the music that you see is one for God and two for the two images that he casts. What are the two images? Okay, let's take a look at the major scale. We can see, where do we actually use the distance of one? The distance of one semitone. Well, let's see. It's very clear. It's tone, tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone. If we were to put the regular letters with that, we see that it starts with C, and C, it goes to the tone. Here's the tone. There's another tone between here. Between E and F, it's a semitone. Between F and G, it's a tone. Between G and A, it's a tone. Between A and B, it's a tone. And between B and C, to start it again, it's a semitone. So the places where he wants us to see that it's one, that it's him, because it's the two images, are the two places, the two semitone, the two places where you see a semitone. Those are the two places that he's saying, here are my images. You can't look at me because I'm too bright. You'll die if you try to look at me. So here are two images I'm going to give you so you know it's me. All right? And this is all within the music. How can I say that? Well, it's right there. It's the two semitones. What are the two semitones? Well, we have two of them. The first one
origin of music has eluded musicologists, professors, and scientists for centuries. They've succeeded to come up with theories, but not a comprehensive explanation. In May 2012, Robert Chambers was in Zimbabwe to perform at the Jazz Festival with jazz singer Prudence. He was also to conduct music workshops on playing the piano by ear. While preparing, he prayed a prayer that would forever change his life and the history of music. He prayed, "God, I want more of you in the method you gave me." For the next 4 months, he was downloaded with revelation that reveals undeniable evidence that God created music. The proof? Musical concepts like scales, chords fingering, progressions, and more can all be found in the Holy Bible. Coincidence? You be the judge. To get more info on Robert's paradigm-shattering book Revelations, The Origin of Music, visit www.theoriginofmusic.com.